Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Two Nigerian Women. My name is Ibukun.
And my name is Abidemi. Welcome to today's episode. What is wrong with me? I
There's
feel
nothing
like I
wrong.
have been running all through the morning. It's just been a whirlwind of activities, so much to do. So yeah, excuse me if I jumble up my words. But yeah,
No, well, we're talking about parenting, and with being parents, this comes with the territory. You are doing 10,000 things at the same time, but we're
yes,
talking about being protective of our children. And this is a topic that I hold near and dear to my heart because I prayed for my children. Not that others don't, but I was told I couldn't have children. Bear with me. I need to drink tea. Excuse me. Okay. I was told I couldn't have children. They were going through a series of tests, and then I spontaneously got pregnant. This was after 5 years of being married. So my children are miracles to me. And as a result, I don't play with their upbringing because I see them as being entrusted to myself and my husband in terms of them being here on earth. So positive parenting, let's start with positive parenting, is intentional. And as a result of that, you find yourself in some situations being protective. So for me, protective parenting also goes hand in hand with positive parenting. But I'm hoping we can provide context as we go through this conversation. But before we delve deeper into it, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and also share on any platform you're listening on. It's Two Nigerian Women, and it's fly on the wall. You just get a sneak peek insights into conversations I have with my very good friend Bidemi on here. So,
yeah.
Sissy, before I delve deeper into it, what do you think about today's conversation?
Well, I think it's something that needs to be had because I think a lot of parents or a lot of individuals, not parents, walk around not knowing the huge responsibility they have. It's not just having
Mm,
kids as an accessory. These are the little people that have been entrusted into your care for you
mm-hmm,
to guide physically, spiritually, support, love,
mm-hmm,
nurture, bring out the best in them, be all the things you or bring out all the things that they can be out of them and seeing the good in them in this horrible world that we live in. And I don't think a
mm,
lot of people are aware that it is a very, very big responsibility because this is a life. You can either make or mar that life forever if you
mm,
get it wrong. And
mm,
so kids are icing on the cake.
mm,
Yes. But besides being the icing on the cake, what's the other? Because also you have people, which is another topic for another day, that don't necessarily have kids, but
mm,
have the ability to nurture, to care, to. So it's not a slight on them, but this is focusing on individuals that parents
mm-hmm,
or even foster parents that have been entrusted that these kids have been entrusted into their care. It is very
mm,
important. And for me, a lot of things these days came to trigger this conversation. Like recently, there was that gymnast issue in Ireland, and really, really rubbed me off the wrong way because I
yeah,
said it can't even happen. Like if I
mm,
was the one in that situation, there'll be
mm,
fists everywhere.
mm,
That's whatever fence that they have there.
mm.
It will be imaginary because I can always just go over it and
You'll
then
jump
have a
over.
nice board.
So
Yes,
let's give
because
context
there,
because people might not know this story,
okay.
Sissy. What are you giving an example of?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's about this little black girl that had a gymnastic competition. It happened in Ireland, and they were handing out medals to everyone. I think everyone that participated, and the
Mm,
person that was giving out the medals skipped her and gave other people. And even she was looking and wondering, though she didn't tap the lady,
mm,
the girls that were on either side of her were puzzled, like, why is this lady not handing over to one of us?
mm,
Even the photographer that was there, that was taking pictures, didn't notice, almost like she was invisible.
mm,
And this happened apparently last year or last 2 years, but it only came to light recently because the
mm,
girl's parents, they are of Nigerian descent, were recording and then they
mm,
posted the clip online. And I
Mm,
think it was only recently, so when this clip went viral, that the lady that was handing out the medals, because she gave
mhm,
some flimsy excuse last year, the parents followed it up. She resigned this year, and I think she had some kind of disciplinary action taken against her. But that
mm,
is so wrong. She is not even invisible. It was not even a crowd. It's not like the children were crowding around her and she was a bit
mm,
confused.
mm,
They were lined up orderly in front of her, and she had to go from one child to the other child, and she skipped one child.
mm.
People call it unconscious bias. Was it really unconscious bias? I feel it was intentional. You cannot be that forgetful. You are handing over medals to little children. You gave to one. What's wrong? That other one, what was she there for? A spectator? My
It's a
child will not even let you go. Like, she will pull your hand out.
and say,
In
what
fact,
about me?
forget.
It's really sad, that incident, and not being in anyone's mind, even the little
Mm,
girl's mind, the girls on the other side of her, or the person who pretty much perpetrated the situation, the woman giving out the medals. It's really
mm,
difficult to fully understand how that could have happened. Now, what I found very interesting was how the parents handled it, to be honest with you.
yeah.
It might be a very unpopular opinion, but like you said, you know what you would do. I know what I would do, pretty much the same. Well, maybe that's why we're friends. We're a bit
Mm.
violent with
Well, when it
taking
comes to our children, I'm taking
our
no prisoners.
children. I don't
Nah.
play. I
Yeah.
definitely would not play with that. I
Yeah.
found it very interesting they decided to go down this route because, not being funny, this is now in perpetuity out there. This
Yes.
girl is going to grow up as the girl that was overlooked. So, what exactly are they trying to achieve? Was my own question mark. See, it was a gymnast competition. It's not a world competition kind of situation. It was not broadcast to the whole world, but you now, by what your actions, you're broadcasting it to the whole world. Like you said,
After the fact. After
yes,
the fact, a
after
year
the
plus
fact,
after.
almost a year plus after the
Yeah.
fact. How are you protecting the principal priority in the situation, which is your little girl? And yes, you could say, oh, they've taken her through therapy, counseling, whatever. But
It's
how
not
is
enough.
this? Look, let me
I,
put it
I
this way.
actually feel that even that recording, that camera would go down.
Hmm.
Or if I was and the father was there, he will go over. Either way. Because she said, according to the mom,
Someone
they were
answered.
both there. They were both there. Somebody should have put it down, taken over the recording, and they were both gone there. Whatever fence that was in front of them is not going to keep me back. I will
So
go to that lady. You
I
skipped
want to be clear.
someone.
I want to be clear before the comments warriors start to get into business that is not theirs. We are not here to bring down the parents. What we're talking about is very subjective, and it's about protected parenting. In terms of parenting that child,
Mm,
was that child the priority in this situation? Is my question. It's a very innocent one, and yes, one to be asked. Were you genuinely protecting her by putting this
yeah.
video out there? And it's up to you to answer yes or no. In my opinion, and it's my opinion, I don't think they were being protective of her. Not to hide this person, but in terms of what they did in the moment. Because 1 year later is too late, in my opinion. 1 year later is you've let sleeping dogs lie. Don't play that game with your child because this is how childhood
Or,
trauma is
let
developed.
me, yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
on. Go on, Sissy.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate. I feel that they didn't do it, it wasn't put out there because they felt that the gymnastic organization of Ireland was going to handle it better.
Mm-hmm.
And when 1 year had passed, it wasn't done. So they had been walking and talking to their child, and she is fine because she didn't see it. I'm not saying she wasn't upset, but maybe it was handled, but the lady didn't get what was coming to her. So they had to put it out there. And also, that's what forced her hand to resign. She
Right.
wasn't kicked out, she
I'm not
resigned.
even talking about that. If
But her
that was
name
the
is out
intention,
there, and her details are out there.
Sissy, if that
Mm.
was her
Because
intention,
when
they
that video
achieved
first
it
came out,
now.
Ireland released the Gymnast Association released one lame excuse. It was very,
Statement.
very
No, no,
lame
Sissy,
and
that's not what
very
I'm even talking
blasé.
about. I'm not talking
Yes.
about that. They got her fired, which
Mm,
was obviously the end goal. I'm talking about the parenting, not about the
mm,
consequence of the person who perpetrated the crime. So back to, because parenting is between you and your child. It's not you and the world and how the world perceives
yes.
you or whoever else has tried to harm your child.
Mm,
To your point, in the moment you are recording it, the woman had given out medals to about almost 6 girls after she bypassed your child. You are still recording for what? You, I'm sorry. There's a certain, and
mm,
I'm genuinely not advocating violence, so please hear me well. There's a certain diplomatic way you would handle this thing. Yes, the child might have gotten the medal after the event. I don't know, but I don't even think that was necessarily discussed. But there is something you should have done.
mm,
Make a statement to your child in terms of you are valued and this shouldn't have happened to you. That could have
mm.
not. They might have been in shock.
Happened.
Someone would say
Yeah,
that in the
yeah.
comments. Fine, they were in shock. But the point is, we only see what they've shown us, right? Now, let us talk in context.
Mm,
Your
mm,
child is a gymnast as well, Bidemi. You have described exactly what you would do.
mm.
I would do the same. I'm sorry, you in fact you will hear my voice. Hey, you've missed my son. Oh, he too, he should get a medal. That is
In
what I
fact,
would
I
do.
have like while we were while we were while we were away,
Mm,
that incident happened in gymnastics for my daughter, and she didn't want to be part of the lesson, and she left. I wasn't there.
mm,
Though what caused that to escalate to wherever I became to, it was a mistake on the brother's part. So
okay.
he like contributed to it, but
Mm-hmm,
I let my feelings. I let the owner of the school know this was not
mm-hmm,
on. You don't do things like that. It's not acceptable. I
mm-hmm,
don't like it, and it shouldn't
mm-hmm,
have. Because I know
mm-hmm,
that if I was there, that wouldn't even have happened. It wouldn't have gotten to that point. So I'm very intentional about. There are just some things. My son would tell me, "I don't want to tell you anything because I know you're going to follow somebody and fight." I said, "This my knuckle is not for just for play. It is someone's going to get a knuckle sandwich." And then he finds it. He thinks he literally takes it seriously. But I said, "Nobody's going to
mm,
break your spirit while I'm here. It's not on. If you're out of line, I will tell you if you're out of line. But you're not just going to come from somewhere." And like when he was in primary school, you had a
mm,
lot of children that were badly brought up.
mm,
And that badly brought up, they brought it to school, and that's not how my
mm,
child was. And I was very
mm,
intentional about keeping him away from all of that. And
mm-hmm,
even when they left, I said, I don't want you to be friends with anybody that you've left
mm,
behind. They need to stay in
mm-hmm,
the past.
mm-hmm,
I'm not interested in you exchanging numbers with anybody. They
mm,
had the opportunity to prove themselves. They didn't. So I'd rather you not. And I
mm,
kept him away from all of that. Will people say I'm being too good for school? Call it whatever you like. I am being
mm.
protective of my child. You will not break this little person's spirit under my watch. Not under my watch.
Nothing
If
my
it
watch.
happened
No.
to you when you were growing up, that's your business, but not on my watch. And
Mm,
that's what is bringing me back to that girl's parents. You
mm,
never know. Remember, growing up in Nigeria, children were supposed to see and not heard. Even when an adult was lying, which we had a lot of primary school teachers that went to made it their mission to lie on children, your
mm,
parents will still give you a good hiding because the adult
mm,
was saying the truth, even though they were lying.
mm, mm,
Lying. In fact, this I didn't realize how serious this issue was. I had a misunderstanding with someone, and my mother defended me. And I said, I was so surprised. I never thought you would defend me because why would I
mm,
defend you? I know the kind of child that I have, and I
mm,
know what you're capable of doing, and
mm,
I know that this is not you. And it was very sweet to hear. This is a 40
mm,
plus woman that is
mm,
that is that is actually quite surprised that her mother is defending her. Because I never
mm.
caught that as a child.
You
You
were
were
near a
always at
child.
fault. I don't want the teacher reported you, it was your fault. The teacher lying. It was never the teacher being out of line. It was never the teacher bringing personal problems to school and taking it out on children. It was always the children's fault.
No,
Because
but
there are
you
a lot
see,
of individuals that are mentally unstable.
there's that too. But in
So
some
you never know if they're
situations,
confident. They're not because also we have to understand. A lot of people think so they come to this country, they think like immigrants. So they already
mm,
have a defeatist attitude. Let me not rock the boat so people do not get
mm,
upset or it doesn't affect me. You never know. So what if that parents were in that point that they are not become citizens, just became citizens, so they're now bold? Maybe. Or they didn't know that they actually had the right. See, I did a master's course,
Sissy,
master's some years
could I
ago. And there was
could
a
I
day that
add
I
to what you're saying though, Sissy? Could I please add to what you're saying? Because
yeah,
what you've touched on is a
okay.
very sore point. When we were growing up, our parents treated us a certain type of way because you are a child, and a child cannot
Mm.
contradict an adult.
Have an opinion. Mm.
That's very well. Excuse me.
Sorry.
So I need to put this up. Mm, Let me make a quick note. Sorry. Oh, coughing fit. Mm,
Sorry.
mm. 1 second. Oh dear. Yeah, yeah. So sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. So
Mm.
16, 16, oh, 7. And as a result, some of our parents saw it as well. Even if it was not their fault, this would toughen them up. So there was a bit of tough love that
Mm.
certain parents thought they were projecting onto the child by making sure that, irrespective of what a
Mm.
child says or expresses emotionally, they are not listened to. And this has harmed a lot of adults, that
Mm.
adults walking around where you think have no problems, but they are
Yeah.
deeply troubled
Yeah.
because they were never
Very
believed.
insecure. Yes.
They were never believed. They
Yeah.
were never affirmed. Some people have never been told by their parents, "I
Defended,
love
affirmed.
you."
Yes.
Exactly. And it's a scary
Yeah.
thought. It's a scary thought. But carry on, Ceci. Sorry, that was what I wanted to hopefully, in terms of develop your point
Sorry.
about.
So you never, like, for the parents, you never know if that is their mentality. So they never knew that it was okay to fight for themselves. Okay. So I was saying something. So I did a
Mm,
master's course a couple of years ago, and I missed a class. I forgot because we changed time, so I forgot that the time had been shifted. And they actually called me, and I rushed down to the class, and I had my lecturer tell me thank you for coming. I
mm,
looked around. Me. He said, yes, thank you for coming to the class. I was so shocked because
mm,
you will never, even if you are paying school fees in Nigeria, teacher will tell you thank you for coming to
mm,
class for yourself.
mm,
Wow,
mm.
will not happen.
It won't happen.
But the
It
fact
won't
I said
happen.
so, and that's the thing, because there are a lot of
Mm,
things that we thought were normal that are very, very abnormal. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things.
mm-hmm,
Like if I'm, because that is the way you were brought up, doesn't make it okay.
mm,
And also, so when people also, because I'm going off on a bunny trip, somebody talk about racism and say, oh, they're stuck in their ways. No, they're not stuck in their ways because you can use a mobile phone. You can use an escalator that
mm-hmm,
was not there 40 odd
mm.
years ago. You will be fine, sister and brother. So you can actually unpack a lot of things that are not necessary if you want to. You just don't want to. That's
You
your
don't want to.
excuse.
You are intentional about
So
being
when,
horrible.
so you
You
can
know,
learn. So for my
everything.
mom, yes, so my mom saying that that's the way she was brought up, it doesn't make it okay.
Mm, mm.
It doesn't. I'm not going to pass on struggle entitlement to my children because I suffer. You too must suffer. For what now?
No, no,
Like
that's not the
why?
way. That's
So
not
a
the
lot
way.
of parents don't
Mm,
actually realize that the onus is on them to empower these children. They just think it's because also growing up it was all about, I don't know if you had that, but nurturing
mm,
was food, clothing, place
mm.
to live in. That's
Yeah,
all. Warm house. It was warm all year round, so it
just
didn't matter.
exist.
That's
Just
all.
exist.
Go
Yeah.
to school,
Mm,
pay school fees. That
mm,
is it. There was nothing extra because
mm,
everything extra was seen as almost like a luxury. You're spoiling your children.
mm, mm,
There are some people that still think till now
mm,
that sending your children abroad to study, you're spoiling them.
mm. It's a necessity
Or
in
send,
some
because I know that you
situations.
must have, your parents must have been gone through that kind of thing. Or even sticking them on holiday, you're spoiling them. Must they go? You're creating experiences. You're opening their world to their eyes to the outside world. So there are a lot of adults that are very, very insecure in themselves. So they don't actually know their rights.
Mm,
So I want to
mm,
even give it to those parents that they actually don't know. And so yes, as we are having these children, we are learning, unlearning, and relearning with them. But it
Mm.
is a long road
It is a long
because
road.
no one showed us.
No, no. And
You
that's
have
the
people that
yeah.
will tell you that as a mom,
Mm,
taking time off to, to do things is
mm.
unbecoming. We never took time off when it was our own time. Why did you need to take time off?
But okay,
Just
so
because you did it doesn't make it okay.
it's true, but let us make sure, because I think we are all about seeing if we can find a middle ground, not go from one extreme to the other. Because, like you said,
Mm.
we didn't experience it necessarily
To
in our own
another extreme.
childhood,
Yeah.
and we're trying to be intentional with how we bring up our children. So let
Mm.
us bring something that happened. So recently, and you were the
Mm.
one who highlighted it to me, the boys, as our children, as in how they relate, was a bit unhealthy, and we were thinking, how should we approach this? Because shouting at them, telling them, no, this is not how to do it, is not going to register, because that's what we went through as children. So we were
Yeah.
intentional. And what we
Yeah.
have staged is somewhat of an intervention where we can observe them playing together. And
Mm.
in that process,
Mm.
talking with them, playing with them, and just very casually instill some clear boundaries in their friendship with each other. That is intentional, positive parenting, but it's also
Yeah.
protective parenting, because in so doing, you're protecting your children. Because I see Bidemi's children as mine, and vice versa. We are raising these children together because they are fast friends in
Mm.
childhood, and we pray they grow up and still remain friends in adulthood. But if we're just like, let them just play and let us see
Yeah.
how they resolve, there would be some unhealthy habits they start to imbibe at their in their early years, that will just carry on into adulthood. That's how you're like, how is your friend? They're like, oh, we don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Why do you think so? Because all you did as a parent was you saw them come to your house, or you dropped off your children at their house, they played together. You didn't inquire about how was the play date, as we call it here in the UK, and what happened. And if they
Mm-hmm.
reported
Mm-hmm.
something negative to you, say, oh, don't mind them, or don't worry about it, it will be better next time. Be intentional. There's something you can do.
No,
That is
so
how you
you
develop.
yeah, you're on peak. Like yeah, yeah. Like whenever I pick my kids up from
Mm,
school, I don't go like what happened in school today. Say anything interesting in school today? Who did you sit down with during lunch?
mhm,
Anything funny? And that's how
mhm,
conversation starts. And they start telling me this happened, this happened, this happened. But that's how you get it out.
mhm,
So it's also being intentional about getting to the nitty gritty. Like this incident I was talking about in gymnastics that happened
mm,
to my daughter. I
mm,
had to tell my son, I said, I cannot defend you if you're out of line.
mm,
Yeah, you
mhm,
know that if I'm there, there's some things I will not allow you do.
mhm,
So this one, you are at fault to a
mm,
certain extent. I will not lie to you. But it's
mm.
also when there's fault, calling it out for what it is. Not pretending my child's an angel. He's not an angel. There are no
No,
angels. They have their own
no,
hookups and
yeah.
issues. But being on it and not lying to yourself. Because you have a lot of parents that like yourself. There was one. Oh, she annoys me to the. In fact, I call her a cow. Sorry.
Oh dear.
That's what I call her.
Really?
And her child will do silly stuff to my child. And I said, no, you never do that. No, that's not him. And
Oh
I'm
dear.
just like like, if that's not gaslighting behavior, what is it? And then there
Mm,
was and the situation that my child wasn't even there. And this her child goes like, where is my son? And they said my son is
mhm.
not there. They say, oh, thank God. If I go and tell the mother, and the mother say he didn't say that. And
Okay.
I said, I didn't even tell my son. I said, you're so much better than these people. I am
You don't
very
have to.
intentional.
You
You
don't
are
have
better
to.
than all of this. I say it. I
Mm,
constantly affirm, affirm, affirm. I am very,
mm,
very, very, very on about affirmation. I do not joke
mm,
with it. Even when it comes to school, we went to
mm,
see a school, and I said, this school is a good fit for this one, but for this one, it is not a good fit for her
mm,
because she's
mm,
very academic. She knows, she enjoys, she does. And it's being truthful, not
mm,
lying to yourself.
mm.
The one
You
that's
should
not
not
academic, you
know
push that
that.
one
Know thy
to
child.
academy, and then the other way around. No.
No, no, no. No. But you see,
Yes. So
let me
I'm
speak.
very, very intentional about.
Sorry, I was going to speak to protecting your child against their own self. because that's another situation you raised with that
Mm.
with the lady. I'm going to call her a lady, Sissy. Let's just call her a lady, eh?
Lady.
The lady
Mm.
who is in self-denial
Mm.
about the
Mm.
characteristic of her child. And it means she might know and is just in denial.
Mm.
She might be going through the grief process. She might be in denial. But if she doesn't know, she hasn't been
Mm.
intentional in actually knowing her child for themselves. And that for me is not protective parenting. Like you just protect
Mm.
your child at all costs. It's not helpful to the child. This child will
Mm.
grow up to be a psychopath if you're not careful. One thing I say to the
A
boys,
menace to society. Yeah.
menace to society, I say to them, this is my first son. Oh, you are my second son. You won't kill him for me. He is not going to kill you for me. I will defend you if you're in the right. But if you're in the wrong, you need to apologize and you need not to do it again. Because after the first sorry, I
Mm.
don't want sorry. I just don't want you to do it again. So, however, we can help you to get over this bad habits of
Mm.
yours, let us do so. And you can have those quote unquote grown up conversations with your
Mm.
child because they are thinking, but their thought process needs help and encouragement for it to go down the right path. But that's presuming
Mhm.
you as a parent, you're also in the right mind space. That's another assumption, but let's not go there. Let us
Mm.
say you
Yeah.
you are a good
Yeah.
person. You're a good person who values having your child in your life,
Mm.
and therefore you want to do right by them. Let's assume that's the case. How do you go about it? Be intentional. Speak to them on a daily basis. Yes, you have a busy life, but they didn't beg to be brought into this world. Whether it was an intentional situation or an unintentional situation that brought them into this world, you are still responsible
Mm.
for them. And a responsible person is
Yes.
intentional about their
Yep.
responsibilities. Protect your child against their own self
I think that's the word
behavior.
responsible because not a lot of people are responsible.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a very good word. Not a lot of people are sorry, I cut you. I'm very sorry.
No,
Not a
go
lot
on.
of people are responsible.
Mm,
So people are having kids that are not even ready.
mm.
Do you understand? So and a kid having a kid cannot actually parent properly because they are growing up.
Yourself.
So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is a conversation that needs to be had
Mm.
constantly.
Yeah, but see, there are some
Constantly.
people who unfortunately made mistakes
Hmm.
earlier on in their lives, who had the children before
True.
they were ready. That doesn't excuse them now
Mm.
knowing the right thing to do, not doing the right thing. So yes, you grew up with this child, but hey, they are
Mm.
still your child. At the right time, they will become your friend when they're adults and
Mm.
grown. But in between the ages of 0 and I would want to say 18, but those psychologists might have different ages. There's a certain amount of influence you have about the development of your child. And if your child is past 18, it's
Mm.
prayer. I'm sorry, but the best you can do is pray for them. But before then, your intentional
Mm.
behavior on how you interact with them, about the interactions around them as well, is crucial. So there's this, I forget who the name exactly, but the guy was talking about putting mentors around your children. There are people that you see in your, maybe not
Mm.
your inner circle, but people that you see have very good aspects that you would want your child to learn. Obviously, check them out though. Let's not go and put ourselves in another situation. But you need to value a place
Mm.
for mentorship that is not from you in your child's life. If you
Yeah.
are in a space where you don't
Yeah.
have good people around you, seek them out. And they don't even necessarily have to be someone that has a one-on-one interaction with your child. Thank God for the age of internet. There are people on there that you can be intentional. Just leave a message, a video, audio playing from this person on in the background where your child is and say, I like this person's ethics and values. I would like you to listen to them. So there is
Mm.
a place for mentorship because you can't do it all on your own. You can't. Parenting, it does take more than one person. which is why, psychologists talk
Takes a
about
village.
the two-parent household. There is that. But then, to your point, it takes a village. Where in Africa, everyone that was older than you can speak into your life. Some for bad, unfortunately, but some for
Yes.
good as well. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
You were going to say?
Yeah, no. That, but I'm so with you on that. But
Mhm.
there's just parenting is a whole. It's a constant journey because you're
Mm,
journeying doing this work of parenting along with your children.
mm,
It's constant. So yeah, it's that, and I don't think there's one size fits all because people have
mm,
managed to be parents in their own way, not necessarily the way of the world, and it's worked for them. So I
mm,
just feel that parents being intentional about speaking, being there, being a parent in every sense of the word is
mhm.
a constant work. And we
It is.
can't know it all, do we?
Oh, I
Can
definitely
we?
don't
No,
know
we
it all.
can't.
These children don't come with manual. In fact, if someone developed a manual before you had
No.
a child, you have children, you won't do it. I have to do what? Because once you have a child, it is for life. Every season there is a situation.
Yes.
Even when they then have their own children, that is
Yeah.
another game entirely. I know what my mother prays constantly over
Yeah.
my life. So in that sense, you need to appreciate. Like we're definitely not if you will, you must do this type of women. We're just sharing our experiences and our
Mm,
opinions. So
mm.
put in the comments what you think as well
Yes.
about protective parenting. So this is not us saying this is what you must do. No, your business is your business. I don't know your situation, but share with us how you
Hmm, hmm.
hopefully or hope to help healthily practice protective parenting. And we look forward to reading your comments. Once again, do
Yes.
not forget to subscribe, share, and like the video. And yeah, let us know what you think. Sissy, do you want to close us out?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today on today's episode. It was lovely being here. I am so sorry. I am so tired. It's been a very long day. Hopefully, we'll see you on our next episode. Please let us know what your likes, comments, and your opinions on certain things. And if there's something you would like us to speak on, please let us know. We are open to criticism in a very constructive way, please.
Watch
And
yourself, is what
enjoy
she's saying.
your week. And yes, be
Exactly.
kind to one another and
Mm.
look after you. Yes.
Yes. God bless you and see you in
Bye.
the next episode. Bye. Bye.
Bye.